Let us quickly summarize whatever we have learned till now about the Cartesian plane, the x-axis, the y-axis, and particularly positioning a point on the Cartesian plane. What did we discover? We discovered that if I put a point on the first, or place a point in the first quadrant, I'll get the values of both abscissa, that is the x value, and ordinate, the y value, to be positive. If I position a point, if I want to locate a point in the second quadrant, the vertical line, the vertical part of the line is positive, whereas the horizontal is negative, which means that my abscissa is negative, whereas ordinate is positive. In the third quadrant, both x and y, that is abscissa and the ordinate, are negative. In the fourth quadrant, my abscissa is positive, whereas ordinate is negative. One more important thing we discovered, that the vertically opposite quadrants are extremely opposite in sign. Plus plus, plus plus, minus minus, minus plus, and plus minus. Now let us quickly do some more questions to have a better understanding of the coordinates. So we have everything at our tips. The coordinates of B, the coordinates of C. We have to locate the coordinates of B and coordinates of C. Let's now do a very quick exercise of plotting points on the coordinate axis. Starting with point P, we have to write the x coordinate and the y coordinate, that is the value of abscissa and the value of abscissa and the ordinate. As I can see, point B lies in which quadrant? This is my first quadrant, this is my second quadrant, this is my third quadrant, and this is my fourth quadrant. Let us quickly recall, in the first quadrant, both the values of x and y are positive. In the second quadrant, the value of x is negative, whereas the value of y is positive. In the third quadrant, both the values of x and y are negative. And in the fourth quadrant, the value of x is positive, whereas the value of y is negative. This will help us to quickly locate the point, and also it will help us, if the points are given, we can tell that in which quadrant it is lying. So starting with point B, the horizontal distance or the value of abscissa. If this is my point B, the horizontal distance from the y-axis is 5. But 5 towards the left. So towards the left, and we also know that in the second quadrant the value of abscissa is negative. So if the horizontal distance is 5 units, we know we must write minus 5. The vertical distance will give me the value of ordinate. Vertical distance from the x-axis. So vertical distance from the x-axis is going in the direction downward, that is towards, from here top to bottom, that this vertical distance is 2 units. And since the point is lying in the second quadrant, we'll have the positive segment of the y-axis. Now let us come to the next point, D. D is lying in the first quadrant and will get both the values of x and y as positive. And I can clearly see that the horizontal distance now from the y-axis is 4 units, 4 to the right, so plus 4, and the vertical distance from the x-axis is 2 units upwards, so 4, 2. Coming to the third quadrant, we have point E. Now, since it is in the third quadrant, both the values of x and y will be negative. So, first starting with the horizontal distance is 4 units to the left, so minus 4. And the vertical distance is, see, here, it is 5 units to the south, so minus 5. The last point S. It's lying in the which quadrant? It's lying in the fourth quadrant, and in the fourth quadrant the value of x is positive, whereas the value of y is negative. And now we can quickly do it. quickly with observation, I do not have to mark the horizontal and the vertical line, and by now we are so trained that by observing we can quickly say that the value of x, this is the point. So the value of x here is 5 units and the value of y is minus 5 units. By this time, I hope that all of you must be very thorough how to put points or how to locate points on a Cartesian plane.